Hi students, today's topic is animal breeding. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about animal breeding. Before that, you should know the term what is a breed. Okay, so breed is a group of animals related by descent and similar in most characters. Breed is a type of variety, like we say there are many different varieties of roses like red rose, white rose, like that. A breed is one which is same. Okay, they are much similar, having what? They are sharing some similar characters, like their appearance is similar, they genetically when you are seeing they are somewhat similar to each other, one another. Okay, so they are sharing some common characters. What are the common characters? Like it may be appearance, it may be size, it may be the features, okay, it may be the characters. Okay, they are sharing common with one another, then I call that one as a breed. So breed is a group of animals related by descent, means they are related to one another, means their ancestors remains the same. Okay, and they are herediting, means they are by heredity they are taking some characters which are somewhat common to one another. Okay, so that is, we call it as what? We call it as breed. Now moving on to this animal breeding. Animal breeding can be categorized into two categories. So what are the two categories? One is inbreeding and another one is outbreeding. Okay, so one is inbreeding and another one is outbreeding. What is inbreeding? When the mating is taking place between the relatives. Okay, so they are related much with one another, then we call it as inbreeding. Now what is outbreeding? When the mating is taking place between two different varieties or two different breeds or two different species, then we call it as what? We call it as outbreeding. Okay, so here in inbreeding is the topic what we are going to discuss now. Okay, so what is inbreeding? Inbreeding means, as I have already told you, mating is taking between whom? The related animals. Okay, so within the cows, when you are seeing the related, means they are staying together, they are in one particular area only, and their ancestors, when you are seeing, they are related with one another, like uncle, auntie, cousins, all those people are mating among themselves and they are producing their progeny. Okay, so when you are seeing the progeny, the offsprings will be resembling the characteristics of their parents. And who are their parents? These parents, when you are seeing, they are mostly related, they are staying in one particular place, means location, and you can find that they are having common characteristics. So when mating is taking place between closely related animals, and that too the same breed, I told you they are relatives, so they within the same breed, and for 4-5 generation, when you are seeing, they are having what? Common characteristics. Okay, so then I call this one as what? Inbreeding, which means breeding between closely related animals. They are related to one another, either their uncle, auntie, their daughter, son, whatever it is, they are related to one another. Okay, so 4 to 6 generation, if the mating is taking place, then we call it as what? We call them as inbreeding. Now strategies for this inbreeding practices. First, what we have to do is that if I want to carry out inbreeding within a population, okay, within a population, I have to select superior males and females. Okay, we have to select what? Superior males and females. Who is the superior males and females? Superior males and females means they are having some good characteristics, like they should be yielding much amount of milk, or they should be resistant to diseases. Okay, so these are things, they should be resistant to climatic factors. Like these good quality breeds only we will be selecting. Means within the population, the individuals who are very good, that will be selected. Okay, so identifying superior males and superior females of same breed is first one. The male with good characteristics and the female with good characteristics are selected from a population. Okay, after that, what we are going to do is that we are going to mate them. Okay, the male as well as the female mating is done, and when the mating is done, they produce an offspring, and this offspring is evaluated. The next step is what? Evaluated. We will check whether the characteristics which is good, characteristics which is present in the female, and the good characteristics which are present in the male, father and mother, is exhibited within that offspring. Okay, so whether that characteristics is exhibited within that offspring, that is what we have to check. Okay, so that checking is done. evaluating. If we are identifying, yes, this is having a combined characters, good characters of both the parents are exhibited in this progeny or in this offspring, then we will select it. Okay, and this superior progenies are further mated. Like this, we are mating one, what is that? Two animals which is having good characteristics, their progeny, another two animals which is having good characteristics, their progeny. This progeny and this progeny is again what? This offspring as well as that offspring is again mated. Okay, so obviously their progeny will also be, their offspring will also be very good. Okay, so that is how the steps are taking place. Okay, I repeat once more. We are identifying superior male, superior female, superior male, superior female. Okay, these two animals are mated, they are getting an offspring. That two animals are also mated, they are getting an offspring. This animal, I am evaluating whether it is having a good characteristic. That animal of offspring also I am evaluating whether it is having a good characteristics. Now, these two are mated, so that their offspring will also have what? Good characters. We have to check it whether they are having good characters, and the process continues from generation to generation. Okay, so this is regarding what? Strategies for inbreeding. Now, what are the effects of inbreeding? Okay, so what are the good as well as the bad things related to inbreeding, merits and demerits? Okay, so effects, when you are saying increase and evolves a pure line. First one is increases and evolves a pure line. Okay, so when inbreeding is taking place, selfing is done. Selfing means, you know, between, you have already learned in genetics in class 10, isn't it? So when selfing is done of the same variety again and again, if the selfing is done, then what usually happens is that they are going to give rise to animals which are having some common characteristics. Okay, so the characteristics remains the same generation after generation. If it is disease resistant, the next progeny, obviously the parents are having some characteristics good, the progeny will also likely to have that one good. Again, the next generation also, they will be producing something good. Sometimes only the recessive character gets exhibited, mostly the dominant characters are expressed. Okay, so they are giving rise to a pure line, and we are selecting only the good ones, so the pure line will also have what? The good ones. Okay, so pure line having what? The same characteristic inheriting from the parents. So next when you are seeing, everyone will have some common characteristics in common. Next is recessive genes are exposed and eliminated, superior ones are accumulated. That's what I said. If I am finding out any recessive characters are exhibited in an offspring, obviously that offspring, that animal will be eliminated. Okay, I am not going to select that animals for further mating. Okay, so I am eliminating that one, and I am just choosing one who is superior. The offspring which is having superior characteristic, that is only taken and that is only allowed for mating. Okay, so that is what is done in what? This second effects. Okay, so that is inbreeding. Second effect is recessive genes which are having recessive genes, that animals are eliminated. One who is having superior is preserved, so that for the next generation mating we are using only the superior ones. We are not going to use the recessive ones. Okay, yeah, by selection at every step, productivity of inbreed population is increased. So when we are selecting and doing it, obviously we are selecting good, so the offspring in the next generation, when you are seeing, the breed will be having good characters. Okay, as we are eliminating the recessive ones and selecting only the superior ones, the superior ones there, when they are giving rise to the next generation, obviously that generation will be having some exhibiting good characters. Okay, so their population, when you are seeing, it is increasing. Productivity is also good, means the yield will be good. If it is high yielding, milk production will be good. Generation after generation, good milk production will be there. Okay, so I will be benefited. So that is the thing. The last is a demerit of what? Inbreeding. What is that? The term which we use is inbreeding depression. What is the term? Inbreeding depression. And this is a very important question. What is inbreeding depression? Okay, so results in reduction in fertility and productivity. See students, when you go on carrying out the same task again and again, you are not going to involve in something else. You are just carrying out your own task again and again, whether you will get bored up or not. The same within the relatives, when the mating is taking place again and again and again, something new is new genes are not getting into the population, everything is means this remains the same, then what happens is that the viability, the what is the strength, that reduces. Okay, so that one we call it as what? Inbreeding depression. Okay, so results in reduction in fertility power decreases, and obviously when the fertility power decreases, because there is no what is that, same practice is carried out, same task is being carried out, you get bored up, you stop your workers, and the same here also it is happening in the same way. So inbreeding depression is taking place, means the production as well as the fertility of the breed is getting lost. Okay, doing the same mating between the same means the population. Okay, so it's totally stopped. Okay, some new population is not getting into, so then we call it as what? Inbreeding depression. So what is inbreeding depression? Reduction in fertility and productivity caused during inbreeding, we call it as what? Inbreeding depression. Now this inbreeding depression can be overcome. Okay, so how can we overcome this inbreeding depression? Yes, we can overcome by all of a sudden, means after a long duration of inbreeding, we can go for what? Outcrossing. Okay, so what is outcrossing? That we will be discussing in the next part. Okay, so hope inbreeding is clear. Inbreeding here within a population among the relatives, mating is taking place. Clear? Yes. Now moving on to the next topic, that is outbreeding. Okay, so animal breeding is divided into inbreeding, outbreeding. Outbreeding again is divided into three. What are they? Outcrossing, crossbreeding, and interspecific hybridization. Outcrossing, crossbreeding, interspecific hybridization. Okay, so what is outcrossing? Okay, so listen. Here, practice of mating animals of the same breed. Breed we are not changing. The breed, the variety remains the same. That have no common ancestors, but their ancestors are not in common. Okay, so one male from maybe South India, another male from another female is from North India, and they are going to be mated. Okay, so in that case we call it as what? Outcrossing. Okay, they are not at all related to one another, but the breed is the same. So in outcrossing, the breed remains the same, but when you are seeing whether related, they are related for 4 to 6 generations, they are not at all related. Maybe their ancestor somehow we are related. Okay, but for more than 4, 6 or 10 generations, we are not related. So the animals are not related in any way, but the breed remains the same. And when they mate with one another, okay, unrelated animals, okay, so when they are mating, at that time you can find the process, we call it as what? Outcrossing. So practice of mating animals of the same breed that have no common ancestor for 4 to 6 generation, we call it as what? Outcrossing. Okay, so what is the advantage? One desi and somewhat you think it of another one variety which is of some other place. So when they are mating with one another, what is the advantage? The yield will be more, the productivity will be more, because here also I am selecting one good breed. Okay, there also the same breed, another one good is selected, one male and one female, which is having good characteristics, but they are not sharing common ancestor for around 4 to 6 generation. Okay, so that I am selecting and allowing them to mate. So automatically what will happen? It will be giving rise to some what is that? Mixed characters. Okay, variations will be there, and sometimes the variations will be good also, and maybe the production will be more and the yield will be more. Okay, so growth rate, increase in yield of the animals will be more. Okay, so in this case what is happening is that I am getting a good offspring, a good variety. Okay, only which I am getting good is kept, the other is eliminated. Okay, so that is what we call it as what? Outcrossing. And this is the way by which we can get rid of what? Inbreeding depression. So how can we inbreeding depression overcome, is the question? Answer is, it can be overcome by outcrossing. Means after many generation inbreeding is taking place, all of a sudden a breed from some other, same breed from some other population, some other location is being transferred. They are not having sharing common ancestors, and they are allowed to mate. So automatically when you are saying the offspring will be having good characteristics and their fertility will increase. Okay, yes, so that is outcrossing. Next is what? Crossbreeding. What is the next topic? Crossbreeding. So what is crossbreeding? It refers to the mating of superior males of one breed with superior females of another breed. Here in crossbreeding, the breed itself is different. Clear? So one is a male and another one is a female. One male is from one breed and another one female, like Desi Videsi, we say, isn't it? So you can find here the crossing is between two different breeds. Then we give the term crossbreeding. Okay. So here what happens is that when these superior quality of one breed is mated with superior qualities of another breed, the offspring which we are getting will have the combined characteristics of both of them. These combined characteristics, we will be accumulating only those offsprings or only those progenies which are exhibiting good characters of their parents. Okay, the one recessive one will be eliminated. So accumulation of desirable genes of the two breeds are taking place. Clear? So that is that breed, the male is having some good characteristics, Deshi Videshi, both are having good characteristics. Both good characteristics are coming in common and exhibiting all dominant characters which are very good in nature. Obviously that progeny will be very good. Okay, the next generation will be giving rise to better qualities. Okay, so that is regarding crossbreeding. Example is given in your book. One sheep breed is there, Hizzardale. Hizzardale is the variety. Okay, the breed which is obtained by crossing two breeds. One is Bicanary Eves, the female, with male merino rams. Okay, so Bicanary Eves are mated with merino rams. The breed which we are getting, the crossbreed which we are getting is Hizzardale, and which is good compared to these two. Okay, these two are also good, but this is more good. Okay, fine. The last one in outbreeding is interspecific hybridization. So outcrossing and outbreeding. Outbreeding, second one is crossbreeding, and third one is interspecific hybridization. So what is interspecific hybridization? When the mating is taking place between two different species, means here I am going to change the species itself. It's not the breed which I am going to change. I am going to change the whole species. Okay, you know species, isn't it? So the species, like for example, mule, you would have heard, isn't it? It is a mating has taken place between a female donkey and a male horse. The one which I am getting by mating these two things, we call it as what? We call it as a mule. Okay. So for commercial production and all, they are trying it out, but that not that successful. Okay. So that is interspecific hybridization, crossing between two different species. Example which is being discussed in your book is mule, which is a crossbreed between female donkey and male horse. Okay. Now the next topic is very important in this, especially MOIT, multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology. Okay, so that is MOIT, what we call it as MOIT. Okay, in short we write it as what? MOIT. What it is? Multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology, which is very important. Before going on to it, we should know the term. What is artificial insemination? What is artificial insemination? Hope this is clear. Animal breeding is divided into two types: inbreeding, outbreeding. In outbreeding, how many are there? 3. What are they? Outcrossing, crossbreeding, and interspecific hybridization. Now next one is what? Artificial insemination. The next topic. Okay. So what is artificial insemination? Controlled breeding in which semen from selected male is injected into reproductive tract of selected female parent. Okay. So in artificial insemination, they are not allowed to mate, means they are not mating with one another. Rather, the semens are collected. Okay. So after collecting the semens, that semens are injected. Okay, we are doing it. The human population, means humans are doing it. Okay. So what they are doing after collecting semen, you know, the sperm with the fluids, we call it as the semen, isn't it? The semen is collected and the semen is introduced into the female reproductive tract of the cow. Okay. So now what happens is that the sperm will go and fuse and the baby will be produced. Okay. Now what is the thing here? Artificial insemination. Sometimes what happens when we are going for crossbreeding or interspecific hybridization, the conditions or the factors prevailing there will not be helpful for natural mating. Okay. And in that case, if female is having some good characteristics but having some problem with reproduction, means reproductive in the reproductive time, if there is any problem, okay. Normal cases, if it is not possible, but I want that female, because female or male which is having good characteristics, then I can go for what? Artificial insemination, okay. So in this artificial insemination, controlled breeding is taking place, in which the semen from selected male is injected into the reproductive tract of the female, okay. So after this, what are the advantages of artificial insemination? Number one, overcome several problems for normal mating. In normal mating, you have to see the season, the conditions, everything is suitable, then only they will go for mating. Here it is not a problem at all. Semen is collected, come on, injected into the female. Fertilization will take place, okay. Second is, semen can be frozen, okay. So you can keep it for some time. If it is a very good quality of bull male, then that semens are collected and frozen. In the frozen form, it is maintained. So for good characters will be preserved. The good genes are getting preserved. So at any point of time, you can go for what? Artificial insemination. That means you can inject it into the female, okay. So that is again, as well as the semen from one area can be, so I need not transfer the animal from one place to another. Rather, the semen is collected from one place and it is taken to another location, and there it is artificially inseminated, okay. So in that case, that is also a good thing. I am just collecting semen, keep it in the frozen form. In the frozen form, it is transported to another location. There I am injecting it into the reproductive tract of a superior female. So in that case also, it is very helpful, okay. So that is artificial insemination. Next, we are moving on to the process in artificial insemination. It is a program for increasing the herd size, okay. So in order to increase the herd size, in order to produce more quantity of milk and all, when you are seeing there, they introduced a program. Name of the program is MOIT. So what is MOIT? Multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology. Multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology, okay. So for what it is? Herd improvement in animals like cattle, rabbit, sheep, etc., okay. For what is the advantage here? High yielding breeds of female and high meat productive yielding bulls are mated, okay. So what is the advantage? The herd size will increase, the productivity will be increasing, okay. So here, high yielding breeds of female, milk producing females are mated with good yielding meat variety of male, okay. So the progeny, whether it is male or female, if it is female, they will have high yielding property usually, okay. And if it is a male, they will be having good meat content, okay. Yes. So how it is done, how it is being done, okay. Very, very important 3-mark question. Clear? Number one, cows administered hormones like FSH. You know what is an FSH? You have already learned in class 8. Sorry, not last year, isn't it? Class 11. Now, what is FSH? Follicle stimulating hormone. Okay. So you know, in female, ovulation should take place. Okay, egg should be released, and egg will be waiting for the sperm to come and fuse. So for releasing these eggs, when you are saying for the same, what hormone is responsible? Follicle stimulating hormone. Okay. So cows administered hormones. So hormones are injected into the cow, female cow. Okay. Like FSH to induce follicular maturation. So the follicles are maturing very fast, and they are producing number of eggs are more. Okay. Usually how many eggs will be produced in a month? We have already learned mammals. In humans also it is only one. Okay. And one egg in a month, the next egg in the next ovary the other month. But here it is super ovulation. What do you mean by super ovulation? When these hormones are injected into the female instead of producing one egg will be producing number of eggs, like 5 to 6 eggs will be produced, okay, by them. So what is the advantage? When 5 to 6 eggs are produced, and if next step artificial insemination is carried out, the sperms will be going and fusing 5 to 6 eggs instead of 1. So the offspring which will be produced will be 5 to 6, isn't it? So I am getting in one go, I am getting in one process itself, I am getting 5 to 6 offsprings which are having good characteristics. So obviously it's good, isn't it? So a cow is administered hormone like FSH. okay, to induce follicular maturation and super ovulation. I told you super ovulation means they are producing more eggs, okay. The cow produces how many eggs? Second step, 6 to 8 eggs, okay, instead of 1 egg. Now what will happen? It is mated with or artificially inseminated with elite bull. Bull, I told you, high milk yielding bull, we call it as what? Elite bulls. Okay, they are mated. Fertilization is taking place. All the eggs are fertilized. 6 to 8 eggs will be produced, isn't it? And after these eggs are starting to divide and they are acquiring 8 to 32 cell stage, they are surgically removed. These eggs are removed, okay. They are non-surgically removed, okay. So there are methods for which they are removed slowly. All these eggs with what stage? 8 to 32 cell stage, okay. Like this, how many ones we are going to take out? We are going to take out around 6 to 8. How many has fertilized? All these things we are going to take it out, okay, from the cow, okay. After taking it out, if she is going to give birth to this, it will take a time, and she is a very good quality of breed, okay. So we cannot waste her to conceive and then go for delivery. Rather, what we are going to do is that all these eggs are taken, 6 to 8 eggs, and these eggs are inserted into different females, okay. So this variety inserted into different females, how that process we know? Surrogacy. What do we call them? Surrogacy, okay. Adopted mothers for carrying the baby and giving birth to the cell. So they are transferred to what? Surrogate mothers, okay. So what is happening? I will repeat. One female which is very good, that good female, when you are seeing having good characteristics, FSH hormone is introduced so that they will go for what? Follicular production, maturation and super ovulation, wherein instead of producing 1 egg, they will be producing 6 to 8 eggs. Now artificial insemination, semen are injected, elite bull, good bull, high milk yielding bull, so that semen, the sperms will be going and fusing the 6 to 8 eggs. Now the 6 to 8 eggs, when they are reaching, each and every one of them are reaching 8 to 32 cell stage, at that time non-surgically this one is taken out from that female, okay. And what has been done? This cells means this eggs are introduced. The fertilized eggs are introduced into surrogate mothers. So 6 to 8 surrogate mothers are there, into their body it is introduced, okay. So why they are introducing this one into their body? So that this female which is having super ovulation power, which is a good breed, which can go for the super ovulation, again she can produce what? She can produce more eggs, okay. So like that, the genetic mother can again be what? Super ovulated. Again she will be producing 6 to 8 eggs, and then again that 8 eggs after some stage they are transferred to surrogate mother. Again she will be again artificially inseminated for carrying out the process, okay. So this is because this one whom I am choosing for super ovulation is having high power, she is very, very strong, okay. So this process we call it as what? Multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology, very important, okay. So first I am selecting a cow, it is administered hormone, they are super ovulating, I am artificially inseminating or allowing it to mate with good quality bull, they will be producing this, sperms will go and fuse, 6 to 8 eggs will be produced, the eggs will start dividing. Each egg, when it is acquiring 8 to 32 cell stage, I am taking it out, introducing into surrogate mothers, okay. The mother will be giving rise to the baby, and the baby will be having what? A good character, because it is from good character, good variety, isn't it? And again this mother is given hormone for super ovulation, and the process is carried out again, okay. So that process we call it as what? MOET, multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology, very important question. So what we have discussed today, just to sum it up, we discussed what is a breed, then we discussed animal breeding types, inbreeding, outbreeding. Outbreeding is again of 3, outcrossing, crossbreeding and artificial interspecific hybridization. Then we discussed about artificial insemination, what is its advantage, okay. Then we discussed about one of the topic covering under artificial insemination, that is MOET, multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology. Very important. And what is what? It is actually a program to increase the herd size. What is done that we have already discussed. Okay. Hope you are clear with this topic. Thank you.